Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Film Rich. Today we're going to be looking at something a little bit different and taking a closer look into the character of Gary from Mr Inbetween. Gary is Ray's best friend who might seem like a comic relief at first, but actually plays a more important role in Ray's life than he gets credit for. The aim of this video is to analyse Gary's character and try to draw out the personality traits that make him important to the show. Gary is more than just a friend, he's a fellow criminal who helps Ray out on various jobs. He's not particularly skilled or threatening, but he's loyal, easygoing and always willing to lend a hand. While Ray often operates alone, Gary is one of the few people he trusts enough to bring into this world. Their friendship is built on years of history, and despite Gary's flaws, he's always there when Ray needs him and vice versa. Firstly, let's start by looking at Gary's friendship with Ray and how it impacts the series as a whole. Before we get into the episode, I would like to remind everyone to please like and share and subscribe for more content, and without further ado, let's get stuck in. One of the most consistent parts of Gary's character is his friendship with Ray. While Gary might not be one of the most capable people in crime, he's often seen assisting Ray on jobs, acting as his right-hand man when needed. Whether it's helping with surveillance, cleanup, or just being an extra pair of hands, Gary shows up. Gary is definitely not the smart one of the two. He may know his way around a gun, but it seems that he has made some bad decisions when it comes to business dealings. For example, Season 3, the first episode where he tries to sell guns to someone but ends up getting himself and Ray jumped and robbed. Despite this, Ray doesn't resent Gary's foolishness and would always keep him by his side. Outside of work, Gary also proves to be a genuine friend. When his marriage falls apart, it's Ray he turns to for support. Ray lets Gary stay with him, and while the situation leads to a few awkward moments, there's an underlying trust and care between them. It's not a dramatic or sentimental relationship. They don't talk about their feelings much, but the bond is there, strong and unspoken. In Season 3, we also learn that Ray and Gary actually went to school together, which adds another layer to their connection. They've known each other for years, and that history explains the comfort and familiarity between them. Gary doesn't judge Ray, and Ray, despite his quiet and guarded nature, clearly values Gary's presence in his life. In a world where Ray often keeps people at a distance, Gary is one of the few he consistently allows in, and that says a lot. Gary is married to a Russian woman named Tatiana, and from what we see, their marriage isn't particularly warm. Tatiana comes across as distant, even cold, and it's clear there's tension between them. Part of that tension seems to stem from Gary's private habits, specifically his addiction to adult content. He admits to watching unusual types of pornography, including what his brother-in-law refers to as pee-pee porn, during a conversation with Ray. Gary hides this part of his life from Tatiana, even getting Ray to take the fall for him after she discovered the pee-pee porn, but the distance it creates is obvious. While we don't know how they met or why they're together, there's a strong sense that they really don't connect anymore, if they ever did. Tatiana's brother-in-law Vasily also comes into the picture. He sets Gary up and beats him, possibly out of the disapproval or frustration. The exact reason isn't clear, but it shows that Gary isn't exactly respected in Tatiana's circle. He seems like an outsider, someone whose habits and personality doesn't quite fit in with the life that he's trying to build. Later on in the series, it's also revealed that Tatiana divorces Gary, and it is also revealed that she is into women, and begins a relationship with a female, which further complicates things. While it's easy to laugh at some of Gary's quirks, this part of this story highlights his isolation, and maybe even some sadness behind the humour. Gary is one of the more eccentric characters in Mr Inbetween, and much of that comes through in his personal habits, particularly his taste in pornography. Right from the first episode, he casually shares with Ray that he's into some very specific and strange content, including urination and an unusual fascination with ankles. It's presented without much shame or secrecy, which in itself says a lot about Gary's comfort with who he is, no matter how odd his interests might seem to others. By season 3, when Gary moves in with Ray after his divorce, things get even more bizarre. He reveals that he owns something called a vajankle, a rubber ankle with a hole in it, which manages to disturb even someone as emotionally closed off as Ray. These moments add a layer of awkward comedy to the show, but they also paint a picture of a man who is deeply out of step with social norms, yet completely unaware or unconcerned about it. Strangely enough, Gary manages to turn his habits into a career. He decides to become a porn director and producer, and in the final episode of the series, he proudly tells Ray that his new venture is actually going well. It's unexpected but fitting end for Gary. Gary is someone who's always followed his own path, no matter how strange. In a series filled with dark turns and heavy consequences, Gary's ending is surprisingly upbeat, showing that even the oddest characters can find their place. In conclusion, Gary might come across as the comic relief in Mr Inbetween, but there's more to him than just awkward conversations and bizarre habits. He represents something rare in Ray's life: consistency, loyalty, and a connection to a simpler, more grounded world. I would even draw the comparison of Gary to the character of Artie Bucco in The Sopranos, who we will also talk about at a later date. Whether he's helping with jobs, moving in after a rough divorce, or talking about his latest odd idea, Gary is always present and always genuine. His strange personal interests and unusual career path make him an easy character to laugh at, but beneath that, Gary is someone simply being himself. No filters, no pretense, and in a world like Ray's, filled with secrets, violence, and emotional distance, Gary's honesty, however awkward, is something Ray quietly values. They've known each other since school, they've been seeing each other through personal messes, criminal jobs, and long silences, and in the end, Gary is one of the only people Ray truly lets in. That's what makes him important, not just to the story, but to Ray himself. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Mr Inbetween, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Film Rich, and I'll see you on the next one.